Hello, my friends, hello, and welcome once again to stately Vaughan Manor. So, today I'm going to be doing a little book review of this book here. I know people have been anxiously awaiting my review of this literary masterpiece. So, yeah, I'll be talking about this book here today, but don't worry, I'll also be talking about this book here. I'll be talking about a couple of books, just real quick. This is Crossroads by Laurel Hightower. This is the book that won my BookTube spin, and it was chosen by Dave and Olive. I guess they both chose it over at the book Blather. Thanks, Dave and Olive, for putting this on my BookTube spin. And this was the winner, so I read that for the spin. And I also read this one. This is Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke. This is by Eric LaRocca. And a few booktubers have read this. It's making the rounds. It is a curse that is being passed on from one booktuber to another. Where has this gone? This has gone from Juan, from Plagued by Visions. Juan was not impressed with this book. Then it went to Dave and Olive. Dave found some merit in this book. I don't know where he found it. I actually looked through it, and darn if I could have found that. But he did. Dave at Book Blather. And then it went to Justin at This Just In, who kindly gave it to me. I say that word kindly with irony. So, things have gotten worse since we last spoke. Now, this is not the first Eric LaRocca book I've read. I've read a couple of them. He writes these tiny, thin little, independently published books. Horror. He's a horror writer. At least he has been so far. He wrote Starving Ghosts in Every Thread. That was his first release, his debut novella, and that was actually pretty good. There were some good things about that. It was well written, had a lot of feeling behind it. He used a lot of his own experiences when he was writing that. Thank goodness he didn't in this. At least I hope he didn't have any experiences like this. Let's hope. But this, for some reason, this has been his sort of breakout hit. Things have gotten worse since we last spoke. Now, this little book, this little novella, takes place in the year 2000. Long ago, in the distant past, in the year 2000, there were internet chat rooms back then. And this is a novelette in the epistolary format where Eric LaRocca, basically uses the chat room and emails to tell this story. So there are these two lonely women who have met through this internet chat room because one wants to sell an apple peeler. And so, yeah, that's how they meet. And then it all goes wrong. By about page 50, they enter into a contract because one is because they've talked a while in the internet chat room, and it all looks like that. So this book is even shorter than it actually looks. So let's get to the dreadful contract. Okay, contract between Zoe Cross and Agnes Petrella. Zoe Cross, hereinafter referred to as sponsor, hereby binds this contract with Agnes Petrella, hereinafter referred to as drudge. In this contract of sponsorship, said contract refers to total dominance and control of owner in this relationship with said drudge, in regard to the stipulations contained herein. It is to be noted that the official agreement was reached on the day of June 7th, 2000. This contract is to be a written declaration of this fact, and it goes on, and there are all these little I know, it's terrible. My dog is treated better than the drudge in this story. So yeah, so there's this big contract, really stupid rules in it. And of course it goes horribly wrong because the sponsor has the drudge do all these crazy things just to see how far she can push this woman to do this stuff. And this woman is really pushable because she does all kinds of disturbing things. And of course, when this stuff happens, it always ends up with somebody eating raw meat and getting a tapeworm. That's just how these things go. So that happens. But don't worry, this tapeworm is beloved. So this book by Eric LaRocca. I cannot say that I am too much more impressed than This Just In and Plagued by Visions were. I might be less impressed because I know that Eric LaRocca is capable of decent work. This isn't it. Now, I was curious and I went on Goodreads and looked up some reviews of this just to see what, this is popular. What do people think of this book? And it's like, it's 4 stars or something. People really like this for some reason. Okay, all you people that like this book, I don't want to knock Eric LaRocca too much. He tried something and he just failed. That's all, in my opinion. No, it goes beyond my opinion. He just failed when he tried to do this. He failed because what happened is he tried to do something shocking. He tried to push boundaries, and it ended up just being silly. You can't be frightening or even really that disturbing if you just are being ridiculous. And this book just heads into ridiculous territory. It starts off like, oh, this is kind of uncomfortable. This could be kind of creepy. It ends up just being ridiculous. And by the end of it, you're just like, what? Really? What? But there are some people that are impressed by this. So to those people who think this is, a successful piece of horror fiction, find a way to get this book. This book is big. This is The Dark Descent. This has short horror fiction in it. That's what this is trying to be. It's trying to be short horror fiction. But this is actual short horror fiction. And you'll find really disturbing things in this book. Things that are really disturbing and aren't silly or ridiculous. The Dark Descent. So I would urge you, after you read this, it should take you about 20 minutes. After you finish this book, get on the eBay or someplace and get this book. And so you can learn what real horror fiction is like. But if you're like, no, I just want to read a good novella, well, at least I've got one for you. That is genuinely a disturbing horror novella, and that's this one. This is Crossroads by Laurel Hightower. I found this genuinely disturbing. And Laurel Hightower, as a writer, seems to be better than Eric LaRocca so far, in that what she tries to do, she's mostly successful. So this is a story about a mother who's lost her son. She will do anything to get the son back from the dead. Anything. She will do anything. She will make any personal sacrifice, I should say. And she makes some ghastly, horrific personal sacrifices in this book. It was enough to me to be like, at moments. And, I might have shouted at this book a couple times. It's kind of like one of those horror movies when people in the horror movies just do crazy things that it's just a terrible idea, but they do it anyway. A lot of that happens in this. But because of the way the main character was written, you kind of get what's happening. Now, this is full of supernatural manifestations. And for a lot of it, we're not sure whether the things that are happening are real or if it's just happening in this woman's mind. Either way, she's losing it and slowly going insane. Even if the supernatural manifestations are real, she's losing her mind because she does things no rational person, no matter what the reason, would do. But Laurel Hightower is mostly successful. There are a couple moments where you're like, come on, really? There are a couple moments like that, but mostly this story works. So Crossroads is a better option if you want a short, disturbing horror novella. I would say go with this one over this one. And this is not because I just want to slam Eric LaRocca, because like I said, he's done some decent work. I just don't think this is it. And it's odd to me that this is the breakout hit when, say, Starving Ghosts in Every Thread was so much better. But you never know about things. I think a lot of people read this and they're like, wow, this is crazy. I can't believe she's doing that. Can you believe she's doing this? That's crazy. No, I'm serious. So that's my review. Just thought I would throw that out there. Now, like I said, this is making the rounds. If there are any booktubers that are interested and you want to if you want to read this book, I will be happy to send the curse your way. Don't let it stay with me. Let me send the curse on. So if any of you want to read this, let me know and I will send it your way. Okay, thanks guys. I really appreciate it. You have a great day.